Juan, you should lower your camera so we can actually see Sasuke.
Should lower so you can see Naruto.
Yeah, so there you go. There you go.
Forget.
We'd like to see bitch boy with the best powers. Be a bitch though.
He is.
This is gonna be my last stream with hair for a while.
Hair. Oh.
Yeah, he's getting to be bald.
I remember.
Man.
Follow W.
What's up, feasters? Welcome back to another great episode of the Anime Feast. I'm Dominique, and with me, as always, we have Matthew McCloskey.
What up, everybody? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. I'm nervous still, like not for the talk, but for the hair thing that we just talked about.
Tell them what you're talking
about.
Yeah.
I am donating my hair to St. Baldrick's on Tuesday. So this mop of a head is going to be donated to children's cancer. Get a shade, but it's been growing out since over a year, so it's going to be good and different and fantastic. And the beard will be gone, but the beard will be back much quicker than the hair.
And of course, we also have Tawan.
What up? Itadakimasu. Means let's eat. Hope you guys are ready for some good food and anime talks today.
I should have made a bowl of ramen so I can just eat with Naruto or just a shirt.
Well, ramen is the best pleasure, so Naruto says. At least according to my shirt. That's what he says right there.
I was like, ramen. You read that?
I can read like right. I didn't.
Yes, what he says right here.
It just says ramen right there.
No, it says ramen is the best pleasure.
No, on the left it just says ramen.
No, it doesn't.
I can barely read that, Matt. It's just so jumbled up.
Jumbled. Okay, I was like, can you read my shirt? Probably it's backwards too.
It's the best. It's the best way to do it right there.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I agree.
Everybody said, "Hey, baby."
Hey.
Well, those of you who are joining us live, thank you for coming in this wonderful Saturday morning or evening or afternoon, depending on where you are. Aggressive. We are discussing Naruto today. That's why everyone has on their Naruto shirts.
Sasuke shirt.
I was like, I don't know any of this.
The show Naruto, but yeah, I was wondering what you were doing, man. I was like, is he trying to do?
I'm trying to do some jutsu.
He wasn't going to get anything going there.
Yeah.
I remember I used to try to know how to do different seal techniques because I was like, that'd be really cool to just just know how to do seals and act like I'm a jutsu person, because you see the videos of people out there who really did take their time in and out. Is like, I'm like, yo, chill.
I mean, it's kind of like Harry Potter, though. At the end of the day, at the beginning of the series, everyone had to do a hand seal, and then by the end of it, they're all just doing this, and
then everything just happens.
Yep.
No, the beginning of the series, it talks about oh yeah, you need to master hand techniques and seals to be able to perform in more more advanced techniques and everything. So because Kakashi and who's the first guy they fight? Zabuza. Yeah, I mean, they go into a pretty much hand gesting match before any attacks actually happen.
For all those water seal techniques, see, that's all you see with their hands is this.
Yeah.
Water dragon jutsu.
Water prison.
He did get stuck in that water prison for 3 days.
Yeah. Zabuza trapped Kakashi, and luckily he got out thanks to Naruto and Sasuke's double shuriken shadow clone craziness.
They never did that again.
They did it in Boruto, I think it was, against whatever one of the Otutsu or whatever clan people it was. But never again in Naruto or Shippuden. Now that we're here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, make sure you subscribe to...
Oh, well, also that, man.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to YouTube and follow, and make sure you like us on Spotify if you're listening to Spotify or any other podcast recording. Make sure you give us follow and enjoy.
But yeah, guys. So we I mean, of course, you got Naruto, you got Naruto Shippuden. We're not going into Boruto because fuck that nonsense. Granted, I've heard it's getting pretty good recently, but that's not what we're here about. We're here about the actual greatness of Naruto Shippuden. Out of the two, which do you guys prefer, Naruto or Naruto Shippuden?
See,
easy Shippuden.
Nah. I gotta go with Naruto because I think it was actually last year when Michael and Sarah came down to the beach, they just started Naruto, and the reason I choose Naruto instead of Shippuden is just because like, in order to get to Shippuden, you have to get through Naruto first. But the first couple arcs of Naruto gets people sucked in, like that first against Zabuza and get to meet Kakashi and get to know the ninja world to start it off, and then they go into the tuning exams. That's where it really kicks off for me.
Yeah, they did have like top tier arcs back to back to back.
Yeah, and then like the rescue Sasuke, all great fights, all fights that lead up to Shippuden, and then Shippuden the beginning of Shippuden is just so hard because you're just so committed at that point, and then you have to go and find Sasuke for like 50 episodes.
Okay, that is true, but Shippuden starts first off with Naruto coming back, but with the with them having show like Naruto, Sakura, and Sai looking up at, or I don't think they showed Sai at that point, but Naruto and Sakura looking up at Sasuke because they eventually did find him, and then how like he looked down on him, how cool Sasuke looked right there. You're like, oh, that dude looks dope as shit. He got a sword on his back. He looking badass, and then like you can, and then it teases a little bit. You know, Sasuke draws his sword. He's about to kill Naruto. Naruto doesn't flinch, and then of course it goes away from that and goes back to like how they got there. And I was kind of like, "Oh shit, man! Okay, Shippuden, you got a little bit of something that's going on here." But I do, like you said, Naruto itself. I mean, there were so many good things. Like the first time we see any little bit of the Nine Tails come out of Naruto when he had to beat Haku after she killed Sasuke, right? And they named the bridge Great Naruto Bridge. That was like that first emotional moment you really got in Naruto, right? Because it was. Zabuza was just using Haku, but in the end, he actually really did care for Haku, and Haku cared for Zabuza. It was like very touching and beautifully done there. The rescue Sasuke arc, I mean, that'll always be one of my favorites. It's where boys became men. The shooting exam, like y'all talked about, Lee dropping the knife. Almost nothing will touch Lee dropping those weights. Like that's just top notch shit right there. Sasuke releasing his curse mark for the first time to be like, you know, just breaking that Sound Ninja's arms. Shit, I mean, there's just so many good things that were happening in there that it kind of makes
we got to fight with well, it was also not a fight, but to see Kisame and Itachi attack the village.
Yes.
And they literally just like saw Jiraiya and were like, no, we can't fight him. Like one of us is gonna definitely die if we fight Jiraiya.
Yeah, because even Kisame was like, if you two were to fight, like who would win? And Itachi was like, we would probably both die. Like I couldn't beat him like that was pretty dope. And then of course, like Sasuke for the longest time, it brought the mystery in, right? Because all that was Sasuke would ever say was, I have one desire, and that's to kill that man. And we never knew who that man was. He's always said, kill that man. And then finally, so that was like a mystery for so long. And Naruto was like, who does Sasuke hate? What happened to his clan? And yeah, and then we learned it, and we were like, oh shit, like, and met Itachi and all that. And I mean, yeah. Like Shippuden, of course, gives us the better fights, better animation style. But I think the story behind it all in Naruto is better.
It leads, like I said, like, it leads up, which makes Shippuden that much better. But it makes Shippuden really great. But Naruto itself, I really enjoyed until the filler before Shippuden. And still, they did my boy Gaara dirty in the beginning of Shippuden too. So that's also, I'm a little salty about that.
I mean,
always will be. He becomes Hokage of the Sand Village, and then he gets right. Yeah, thank you. I was like, I couldn't remember the name, but the Hokage, and then and first thing he does is get captured and gets extracted with the tail beast from him. It's like, how are you this strong? Like, you were literally the main boss in Naruto. Now you just get shat on.
But remember, the reason he lost that fight was because if he either could have sacrificed himself, or Data was going to blow up his entire nation. So he had to do one of the two. He could either use his sand to protect himself or use his sand to protect the nation.
Yeah. Theater is probably like one of my least favorite Akatsuki members. Now I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Hate him with a passion.
But art is an explosion, man. Come on now.
I know. I kind of like Deidara. He's just an annoyance.
I like Deidara.
I know exactly. I
hate Deidara because he just wouldn't die. Like there were like 3 or 4 situations where he was like, "Gosh, can someone just take him out already?" And just no one could. And it wasn't like he just overwhelmingly beat them. He just like got away by the skin of his teeth, and just like, if someone just could have killed him.
Man, he's just an annoyance. He's like
also Deidara is like the only Akatsuki member where like every Akatsuki member or whatever had their like little arc, and he always made it out of his arc. Like he was the first one because it was him and not Kaku. What's Kaku? Puppet guy.
No, that's Sasori.
Yeah, him and Sasori. And somehow he makes it out of that situation. And then was it Hidan and Kakazu?
I think it's Kakazu for that one. The one with 4 hearts.
Both of them get taken out.
Kakazu, that was like, he was my least favorite. His fight drug on forever against Kakashi.
You gotta destroy all the
hearts. Then Naruto comes in for the save, huh?
Of course. I mean, also Naruto's really the only reason that they did win because his Kaze Shuriken, it cut off like all of his like chakra ties, so you wouldn't be able to use those. But
the Rasen Shuriken attacks you on a cellular level and it destroys all the cells in the body, which is crazy because they said it also did the same thing to Naruto, and that's why he couldn't use it again. And then he used it for the rest of the series, and I was like, wait a minute, we just talked about how he can't do this.
Well, he's like, I never actually touch it.
Rasen Shuriken.
So, question for you guys. Oh, Dom, you didn't say which one you prefer, Naruto or Shippuden.
I don't know. I think it depends on what I want, right? Like story wise, I do like Naruto better than Shippuden because Shippuden is literally just Naruto saving Sasuke doing vengeance until the war, and then it's war, and then once war's over, it's once again Naruto saving Sasuke, right? Naruto itself is just like the full on watching how ninjas become ninjas. It is seeing the full process. Why is getting everyone's story? Like, why is Sasuke so fucking emo? Why is Naruto so like destructive in terms of like not true destruction, but why does he plagiarize? What sort of vandalize everything, right? Why is he always painting on the Kage faces, on the stone faces? Why are all these girls infatuated with Sasuke? Like, why all of this stuff? Okay, cool. Like, how do they become these different ninja ranks? Like all of that stuff's pretty cool, and you just learn all that stuff there, and how Kakashi, like, betray. What was his saying? It was like, what was it? Turning on your fuck.
Oh, people who abandon the mission are scum, but people who abandon their friends are like worse than scum. Something like that. Exactly. Like you get all those things, and that was the only way that they passed was because they actually saved, like gave Naruto food was one thing that saved them. Like all of that shit was like amazing. Like we talked about the tuning exam and all the things there. First introduction to seeing the first and second Hokage again when they fought the third and Orochimaru, all that stuff. Everything there was amazing. Shippuden was great in terms of again, most of it is Akatsuki as well. Some great storylines, but I just liked the storyline a bit better in Naruto. It felt more genuine.
It flowed better too.
Exactly. I loved the fights in Shippuden and I feel like that's because in Shippuden it was like adult shit, right? It was like these now really only one of them was actually technically a Chunin, right? Only Shikamaru.
Yeah, Neji was the only Chunin.
Shikamaru. Not Neji, Shikamaru.
Oh. Was there like a second Chunin exam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Shikamaru was the only one to pass that one when they were kids, and then I think there was another one after Naruto left.
Yeah, because Naruto was only Genin,
Genin and Shippuden, and it's just like He's still going on these missions.
But like, so now, but at this point, everyone's like, everyone's trained for 2.5 years. So everyone's a lot stronger in what they can do. All these jutsus are really cool. We get the full Akatsuki introduction instead of just, Itachi and Kisame. Yeah, like all of that was pretty good. Like, so those fights in Shippuden top notch. But so many good ones in Naruto too. Like I said, the Rock Lee dropping his weights, Sasuke doing Chidori for the first time. Like that was y'all can't tell me Sasuke's entrance to the tuning exam before being DQ'd was not top tier. Like that was a nice entrance.
Was when Naruto and Sasuke fought on top of the roof, even like. Was that post tuning exam, or was that was before tuning?
No, that was during. They did like a little training period because Naruto was learning the Rasengan.
Yeah, but I thought he was learning the Rasengan, and
it was post tuning exam because Sasuke didn't learn the Chidori until the end of the towards the end of the tuning exam, and they both used their techniques during this fight.
Yeah, because then that's when Kakashi stopped them both because they're
Okay, it was post tuning. Yeah, the tuning exam ended during that. Remember, because after Sasuke and Gaara's fight is when the tuning exam ended, because that became Gaara becoming the One Tails and all the fighting happening. So post tuning hospital, Sasuke and Naruto fighting on the rooftop because Naruto recovered before Sasuke, and all the Naruto and Sasuke was mad, and he just like, Naruto, come to the roof and fight me, man. Loses essentially. Like they got saved by Kakashi. Sakura's dumbass. You can't be fighting. Stop it! No!
I mean, those are deadly techniques that they were using on each other,
right? But she was screaming from the jump, like, bro, either get in there or shut the fuck up. So, and then, but yeah, like Kakashi saving it, and Sasuke seeing, his attack, blew out the front of the tank, and he was like, my jutsu was better because yours has a little baby dent. And then he jumps off the back and sees that Naruto blew the back out of that thing. And he was like, fuck, I lost this fight. And it was kind of like, yeah. It's like, that's why I think I liked Naruto more. But I did like the introduction of characters we got in Shippuden and, again, the fights in Shippuden. But story-wise, I like Naruto. What's your question?
No, not a question. I just had a... Oh, sorry.
No, Tawana had a question. That was going to be my question. Yeah. What was the most frustrating aspect of Naruto or Shippuden in general? I'll say, like, for me is the amount of backstory or constant like flashbacks that they would have, and the repetition of moves.
I was like, no, I like
because
backstory.
Naruto always used Rasengan and Kagebusha no Jutsu. Like, nothing else.
I guess like the superpower of like your super move being used all the time is annoying, but it's like you knew that the fight was getting real when they pull that stuff out. It's kind of like when Sanji or like Zoro smoke the cigarette, or Zoro puts a headband on. You just like it's about to get real.
Yeah.
And I like the backstories. It's just that dream sequence in the Madara fight. That was probably my most annoyance. Like we've already saw everybody's backstory at that point, and then we're gonna redo everybody's story again.
Are you talking about when he put everybody under the infinite Tsukiyomi?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tsukiyomi, whatever.
Yep, and then Naruto went into everybody's dreams and saw their backstory and rescued them to pull them out. That was my annoyance. I don't know, because I thought the anime was at least the animation was slow in that sequence.
I get why they did it. Not that, but I'm like you saying Madara made me think of one thing that kind of did slightly annoy me. Madara not dying. Madara having been alive this entire time. And well, not this entire time. He did eventually die, but how long he was actually still alive to the point of like doing what he did with Obito, and he didn't die until a while after like resuscitating and helping Obito with the white Zetsus and stuff. But like, how was this man still alive this whole time to manipulate the way he did and do what he did? Like that to me was a little bit like, what the fuck? Like, but yeah, because like how old he would have been, right? And
like when he rescued Obito.
Yeah.
So, it's the first.
They've already been through. He's on like life support at that point.
Right, and I think he was like using the white Zetsus. Yeah, he was like in a chair similar to like Nagato or whatever. And it was kind of like, because he essentially was killed by the first. That, and then of course, like when it comes to Shippuden, the whole Madara somehow was able to, in that fight, intake or fuse himself with Hashirama's cells, like Houseway, and then like going from there and becoming more powerful. I was like, bitch, what? Like having the full Hashirama face in his chest because he took some of his cells. I was like, nah, this is bullshit. But nothing to like that true extent. So I think a lot of it is, I know another annoyance is kind of like what you said though, Tawan. I was just annoyed at Naruto's mindset the entire time. His entire like, I need to save Sasuke, and I never take my, because he promised Sakura, and he never goes back on his word. That's his ninja way. And I was like, bitch, no, like this man never liked you, has attempted to kill you multiple times, and at the end of the day, like if you want to go be rogue, fuck him, let him go be rogue. And if you come at it, I'm gonna go get stronger. And if you come at me, I'm gonna kill you. Like that's at the end of the day, like fuck that. So yeah, his whole like obsession with saving Sasuke was very annoying.
Believe it. First believe it of the day. Let's go.
And then of course the third Hokage being the fucking worst in existence.
Oh, that's second Hokage maybe the worst.
No, the third Hokage had one job. Well, he had multiple jobs, but he had to protect and just raise Naruto a little bit. And he ain't do a goddamn thing. But he put this man he put him in the worst apartment in existence and checked in and gave him a pennies for allowance and called it a day from there. And it's like, this dude is like 8. What do you mean? Like, raise this kid. And then people were like, well, he had things to do. And okay, he raised Sasuke too. And we saw how Sasuke lived. Sasuke had a good life. Sasuke's house was nice.
I mean, he had a whole section of the village to himself.
Yeah, Sasuke
he had a whole section of the village to himself.
Sasuke, that's where the Uchihas just lived, and everybody else, the buildings were there, but his family and everything was just dead.
Itachi destroyed pretty much every house in there when he was going through killing everything. So it wasn't like Sasuke just went in there and cleaned it all up and was like, everything's fine. A traumatized child ain't going in there and cleaning up a house and living in there like it ain't nothing. Nah, fam. And of course,
I'm not saying it ain't nothing.
So yeah,
I do believe that Sasuke had a more traumatic experience.
Well, yeah, because his brother made him watch it over and over and over again. Itachi made him watch it consistently. Yeah. So yeah, that's traumatizing. All Naruto's experience of anything was like as a 1 year, not as a 8-hour-old. He was born 3 hours ago. Like that's when all the trauma that happened to him outside of like the village. So Sasuke's is more like watching his family and friends die continuously. Naruto's was just like being hazed from the moment you could from the moment you could actually understand what's happening in the world. No one likes you from the moment you could actually understand and comprehend what was happening. You were hated forever.
Mm-hmm. And people still, like you said, it was just a haze from 5 till almost 16. I mean, even until he earned the respect in Shippuden of the village, everybody still hated him in the beginning of Shippuden too. Like it wasn't, no one wanted him. Jiraiya took him under his wing, and like Jiraiya could easily knock him from
Gaara. Also, that was annoying with me. Like, why didn't Naruto deserve to be a Chunin after he saved the village from Gaara?
Because that's not how it works, Tawan.
And plus they saved from Gaara, but the fight wasn't also in the village either. So nobody really, I mean, they got a secondhand account of like what happened. Like, oh, Naruto saved the village. Is like, okay, cool, that's good. He redeemed himself a little bit now. He still can go berserk at any time and destroy the village because of Nine Tails, but
that's also a thing. They kind of, but didn't truly understand how it worked, right? Because like it was sealed in Kushina, and she had great control over it. It didn't burst out, but then it did break out when Toby did what Toby did, and then it put it back in Naruto. So they were kind of like, oh no, the creature that was tormenting and destroying our village is free. It did it to us when the village was founded, when Madara did it, and then now it did it to us again, but because of Toby do it. So like the Uchihas are the fucking reason, right? But so like that's why they hated him, because they were like, he can destroy him, and he was the reason that everybody's family died. And it's kind of like, no. First off, who told y'all that this child had the demon in him? Because the only motherfucker who knew was the third.
There, yeah.
So again.
They're told one person, that person told another person, and then just word got around that.
Yeah, the only fucker who knew that Naruto, the 9 total students out of Naruto was the third Hokage. So another reason to fuck Tobirama. Like, it was not Tobirama, Hiruzen. What I think his last name is Tobi. No,
Sarutobi.
Sarutobi, yeah. Hiruzen Sarutobi. Yeah, fuck him. Right. Again, fuck the third.
Man. It's amazing that we haven't talked about the pain arc yet either, but that's
I mean, actually, I have a question though for you guys. When it comes to the Kages, right? Let's just think about Naruto, the first 4, right? First, second, third, and fourth Hokages. Who was truly the strongest?
Hashirama.
Yeah, the first was probably strongest. I mean, like he had the wood style jutsu also,
Mhm.
which I mean the mixture of the 2 elements, which made him his own until Orochimaru did his wonderful human experimentation stuff.
Here's why I want to say Hashirama as well. Here's why I want to give the third his credit. He was also dubbed the God of Shinobi. He mastered all the elements, and he was, trained by the first and second Hokages. And last but not least, when he was an old, decrepit man having to retake the role of Hokage, the first and second Hokages were summoned, were reanimated, and he had to 1v3 them because he also had to fight Orochimaru. He had to fight Orochimaru, the first and the second, as an old man, and was going toe-to-toe and was holding his own.
I would yes and no, because Hashirama wasn't using his full power. Like we've seen what Hashirama can do, and if he would have done anything like what he did against Madara or Toby, or honestly Madara when he first summoned the QB and was fighting him, he wouldn't have stood a chance. And he did all of that.
He did a deep forest emergence, if I'm not mistaken.
But he didn't do like the Buddha, did he?
You can make an argument for Minato also, because he's the one that actually stopped the Nine Tails from destroying the village.
He stopped it by,
I mean, he's the one. I mean, he was probably the shortest term, except for Kakashi as the Hokages.
Nah, Kakashi was a Kage longer than Minato was.
Yeah, Minato. I mean, like he started his job, and then the next thing you know, Nine Tails released on the village. Yeah, and then he's like, "Well, time to sacrifice my son."
Also, was it immediately obvious to you guys that Minato was Naruto's dad? Like,
yes.
I was like, I didn't know.
Like, I don't know who my dad is. Yeah, you've been staring at him the entire time. Like, just look up.
He's the fourth. Like, isn't that obvious to everyone here?
When they showed, like, when we saw the stone statues, like the faces, I could kind of think about it because the hairstyle was a little similar, but not entirely. The moment we first saw, we actually got to see the fourth Hokage, we got to finally see Minato. In any instance, I was like, that's Naruto's dad. Ain't there no ending for butts about it. They look the goddamn same.
They both have blonde hair. I mean, obviously.
Their hair is the same. This is the same person.
Only 2 people at that time had yellow hair in the series.
And like Ino's, because and then people were like, well, Ino's family was blonde, but it's like their blonde was like a very pale yellow, right? Minato and Naruto's blonde is a very bright yellow. Like that is a clear. This is your daddy, right? This is your papa, right? Now, I was curious as to who the mom was. It took forever to show that part, but for the dad, I was like, that's your daddy. That's your daddy right there.
Man. No.
And it's funny because saying that, I know Tony, you had mentioned that we talked about this before as well. Like when it comes to when did you realize so and so may have been so and so? I knew Toby was Obito from the jump.
Like once Obito was like mentioned, he's like, "Oh yeah, he died." And like
the moment Toby was brought in, and he was kind of playful, right? I was like, okay, who might this guy be? Like, we didn't have. You heard the name Toby, and it was like, oh, that's interesting, right? And he had the mask on to hide his face and stuff. So I was like, okay. He had like a one eye hole. But the moment they showed, and of course he talked funny, right? He was like he was kidding around, all jokester like, and senpai or calling Deidara his senpai because he replaced Sasori and whatnot. But I think it was the moment they took down the third. They didn't show us what happened. All they showed us was that they were going to go attack the third Jinchuriki. Sorry, through-tail Jinchuriki. And the moment that it showed them walking, it showed the big beast, and then the screen cut to black, and then it showed them pulling him away while Toby was riding on top of him and joking again and talking about the big attack or whatever. And I was kind of like, that's suspicious. And then they finally showed. I want to say at that point I kind of thought it was Abuto, but then I think at some point they showed a Sharingan. I don't think it was after the Sasuke thing. I think it was before the Sasuke thing. But then I was like, that bitch is Abuto. I was like, he's only got one eye showing a Sharingan. There's only one person we know that got the one eye taken out like that, or would possibly still have one eye. And I was like, nah, this bitch Abuto.
I was reluctant just because seeing Obito get crushed literally in half by that rock, but also Naruto physiology just doesn't make sense because you can just pull someone's eye out and then put in somebody else and it works.
Yep.
Is
that how it works in Naruto? That's why, if I lose sight in this eye and you pass, I can't just pluck your eye out, put it in my eye socket, and I got vision back. Is that not how it works in Naruto? No.
Also, people are just easily able to pull someone's eye out by sticking their fingers in someone's eye socket.
That's dirty. That's so dirty. It's so nasty.
Right.
Thank
you.
Don't wash it off. Don't do any jutsu to reconnect nerves or anything, because none of them are medical jutsu, like medical ninja. None.
During that time, it's during the middle of war too. You're in the middle of the woods, in the middle of war. I know was because he was crushed on the body and his face is just still talking, right?
So
it crushed the entire half of his body. Half of his body. So he took under the rock.
He still had the left eye underneath the rock afterwards.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that's bullshit.
But that wasn't destroyed. That was fine.
Yeah, I forget wherever he was crushed at underneath there was where Madara was hiding out at. So Madara saved him, and then the White Zetsu healed him. I don't know how it works.
He just happened to be underneath that tree. He just happened to be.
I don't make the rules, y'all. That's just what happens.
Also, half of your body is crushed flat like a pancake. That thing was touching the ground.
So many
would you almost immediately die?
Or was it Swan? Was he crushed? Was it just the angle we saw?
Yes, he was crushed.
Oh, man, it's been the angle, man. We don't know.
There's blood on that rock.
It's the angle of the dangle, man. I can't tell you.
Angle of the dangle.
But yeah, and they're also going into actually that Obito not stuff. How the fuck were their eyes still connected? Because remember, they awoken that Mangekyo Sharingan from the great loss of Rin, but it was more so Abuto's emotional reaction to it that awoken that Mangekyo. Because it wasn't when Kakashi stabbed. It was because they all happened at the same time. Yeah. But when Kakashi stabbed Rin, and because she was the new Jinchuriki for the three-tailed, and that was to save her. Abuto saw it. Abuto's emotional reaction is what awoke in the Mangekyo Sharingan in his eye, and it immediately happened in Kakashi's eye. And I was like, I get that they're both Abuto's eyes, but they're not with him anymore.
I mean, I guess it's just the connection they inherently have, because they have the same ability. His eyes all have the same ability, so there's some kind of connection with it. It's not necessarily genetic. I mean, it is genetic, but I don't know. There's some kind of chakra connection, probably.
And did Kakashi just think I unlocked this because I killed Ren, pretty much?
Probably.
I mean, or
Kakashi didn't really have a understanding of
Sharingan.
He didn't have
Sharingan because he's not an Uchiha, so he's able to use the abilities, and he just basically learns as he goes.
Mm-hmm. The copycat ninja.
But yeah, just back of his mind is why did this happen at the end of the day? But he never questioned it.
Maybe when it happened, he didn't even understand that it happened, because it's not he used Kyumi much, from what we saw. Because the moment that Abuto, obviously, the moment that happened, he awoke and they awoke in the Mangekyo and they had Kyumi. Abuto at that moment was having things phase through his body, the power of Kyumi he put on himself from the jump. because that's how he beat the entire like all that clan that was there, right? Like they were attacking him and it was going through his body because the Kyumi was allowing that to happen. While Sasuke, while Kakashi didn't really do anything with that shit until like the Deidara, like trying to kill Deidara and only getting his arm. It's like we never saw Kakashi use it the same way. So Kakashi really had no understanding of how this thing worked, but Obito knew from the jump what to do with it.
I guess there wasn't like a was it a oh my gosh, I forgot the technique already. Just blink. There's not like a guidebook to be like, oh, this is how you use your eyes, by the way. Like,
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, by the way,
tutorial.
it's like, oh yeah, by the way, your eye is now this shape, so therefore here are your powers.
Yeah.
Here you go.
So yeah, I just always found like that whole awakening for what happened. Like of course it awakens through emotional, like through loss and your and emotions and stuff like that. And I get that they both liked Rin, or like Rin was the friend of both of them. But I feel like Kakashi's attachment to Rin was that is a comrade, that is a team member. Like that was it, right? Like Kakashi didn't really have emotions at this point in his life because of everything from his past. Obito, on the other hand, was madly in love with Rin. So him seeing her die makes sense. It's like that is a great loss. His awakening makes sense. Kakashi's didn't for me. So I was like, why did both they get the eyes? And then again, like, how did Obito immediately know how to use his shit while Kakashi like never understood how to use Kyumi. And then maybe it's the chakra reserves, because remember the Sharingan does take a lot of chakra out of Kakashi because it's not supposed to be with his body. But it's just like, how did you never do the application of it that Obito did?
That was like even pre-Uchiha clan, like getting mass murdered by Itachi too. He could have just asked one of them, like, okay, how does this stuff actually work? Or did the Uchiha clan disapprove of Kakashi having the Sharingan?
I would assume they probably wouldn't like it, just like Sasuke didn't like it because there was no other person with the Sharingan. But I don't think they would like it because it's their clan's Kekkei Genkai, right? Like I would hate if some outsider, if my family has this special trait and some random outside dude comes in and takes my shit, I'm gonna be like, why you got my stuff, bro? Like,
yeah, I and they're about to they were playing a coup on the village. They would not have been okay with Kakashi using the Sharingan.
I just want to make sure. I was like maybe
but
they would have taught him. It was like, no, like
Itachi could have done it because Kakashi and Itachi were like together in the Anbu Black Ops.
I feel like Itachi had way too much going on.
I don't think Kakashi would have approved of mass murdering a clan, though.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying of like telling him at least a bit more about Sharingan.
Honestly, Danzo should have told him more about the Sharingan.
True.
I don't think Danzo knew, because if Danzo knew, he probably would have taken that shit right out of Kakashi's face.
True.
Also, how is everyone okay with like Danzo just collect? Well, no one really knew because his arm was always wrapped up, but him just like collecting Sharingans. Also, it doesn't matter where it is on your body; it just needs to be in your body. You can just all an arm of eyes.
But I remember that arm that he used had Hashirama's cells in it, so like it was. Whatever's going on with the Hashirama DNA nonsense bypasses any other aspect of medical worldness that you need, because the arm was a Hashirama cell infused arm that then had the eyes in there, which is what allowed everything to happen, I'm guessing. But I don't think he could just put it in his other arm that was just a normal Danzo arm, but because it had the Hashirama cells in it, it was able to also have 45 Sharingan in it.
Just like his DNA's already mixed up anyways. Like, oh yeah, what's messing with it even more? He's going to do to it.
I got
make it look gross. Man, actually, I like that Danzo versus Sasuke fight.
That was a good fight. That was the one fight where I was like, thank God Sasuke won that.
Other than he kills what's her name? Karin, yeah. Yeah, other than that part.
Hey, that man was cold when he did that. Karin, don't move. I was like, oh, god damn. Well, you really don't care about nobody.
No, you know. She has like Stockholm syndrome also. Like he stabs her and she's like, I still love him though. I was like, dude, he literally killed you. He literally tried to kill you.
People have a like anyone's like obsession with like Sasuke is always toxic. It's just a toxic. Naruto toxic, Sakura toxic. Finally gave up after Sasuke abandoned the village, which was smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, Itachi toxic. Like it's just Karen toxic. Everybody's just toxic.
Like let this man almost kill you, and then you join him to then go and try to get the 8 tails, and you heal him twice from near death. No, once, because Jugo did the other time. But then like you save him from near death when he literally tried to kill you a day ago. Like
also he was planning on killing them because he was going to release what was it, that lightning wolf attack on them when they first met, and then Orochimaru had to stop him. He's like, not here.
Oh yeah. When that was when Kakashi, when Naruto and Sakura finally found him after all that time, and then he was going to use that Thunder Dragon. But yeah, Orochimaru, like it was just funny when people were like Naruto or Sasuke could have ended the whole Naruto arc right there. Like the whole show would have ended right there.
They wouldn't have been able to do anything, and it's just like,
I wonder if they would have though, because Yamato was there and he has wood release.
Also, when Yamato got taken, and then they just didn't talk about it forever.
Yeah.
They were like, "Where's Yamato?" No one cared. No one cared. No one was looking. No one was talking about it. It's just like, what?
And he was so off screen and off book after that I just kept forgetting Yamato existed until it was somehow for some reason go back to the White Zetsu tree, and I was like, oh yeah, Yamato.
It's like, I forget part of that anime because he gets captured, like, oh, we gotta go rescue him right away, and then next thing you know is like, nope, like he's the reason like the regeneration happens too, isn't it?
Yeah, they used his Hashirama cells to power up the White Zetsus.
Mm-hmm. Still doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense, but no. It's kind of like whatever. It's like Luffy's his Devil Fruit's imagination. It's like that shouldn't exist, but it does.
I mean, the way they just also, it should seem like anyone should be able to do with style because it's just a combination of earth and water, but they can't. Because remember when they were
because you're usually only born with one element.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, but I mean, there are plenty of people that can use multiple. Like Sasuke can use multiple.
I think he trained himself.
Uchihas
trained himself so he can actually use both at the same time. That's how the wood style became.
No, Uchihas have a natural affinity for fire.
Yeah,
that is right.
He has a fire, but wasn't his element lightning though?
His actual natural element is lightning, but just because he's an Uchiha, he can naturally use fire. I think that's like anyone of the Mist Village. I feel like they all can use like water style jutsu.
Mm-hmm. That confirms that Sasuke is Natsu. Such
he does use lightning and fire.
No, so in going through these, then let's talk about them separately for a second.
Yeah.
In Naruto itself, and I think we're all gonna have a similar answer here. But what was your favorite arc in Naruto?
Chunin exam.
Yeah, just that Rock Lee Gaara fight and introduction to Gaara. And even the Sound Village, I love that concept of like the village that never really existed. And I don't know how they let that happen, like let them in anyway. It's like, we've never heard of you guys.
Orochimaru's too smart.
Yeah. But at the same time, like tuning exam, like Naruto not answering any, like even the beginning of the tuning exam too, like the Naruto not answering any questions, like to get past. It's like the idea was to cheat, but you actually didn't need to actually cheat with anything. You didn't have to answer any questions. And they're about to give up, and Naruto and Gaara, or Sasuke and Gaara would never happen. All that stuff would never happen. But also just that Rock Lee Gaara fight. I mean, I was hooked into Naruto, but after that Rock Lee Gaara fight, I mean, that it's the same thing for like the Arlong. It's like that got hook, line, sinker.
Sasuke get by Rock Lee that first time.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, Sakura, you're so beautiful. And she's like, get away from me. And, oh, you're an Uchiha. Let's see what you can really do. Body.
Because it would be that then the Rescue Sasuke arc. Because that opening was just fantastic. Also,
it was
Mhm.
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Mine's definitely the Rescue Sasuke arc, just because of everything that really does happen in there, right? Like we do see all the boys grow up. You get to finally see. I just had his name when I lost it. Kiba. You get to see Kiba do something, right? Truly do something for the first time. Choji finally like awakening and doing the whole butterfly technique, which was amazing to see. And like actually being useful. Shikamaru, who everything's a drag. You see him outsmart someone. Neji, who no one liked because Neji was that asshole who was so much better than everyone and beat the shit out of Hinata and all that stuff. And you're just like, I hope Neji gets worked. But you know, that finally like starts to make you more okay with Neji, right? Of course, the fight, Naruto versus Sasuke fight. I mean, like that first real going at it, you know, curse mark release, one tail more like that was like, mwah, chef's kiss, beautiful.
Really know you didn't know they were going to make it out alive either at that time.
Exactly, they were all outmatched. Every single one of them was outmatched and came out on top. Granted, injured in some way, shape, or form, but coming out on top. Like we all thought Choji was dead because Choji had pretty much talked about like if he does this third pill or whatever, like it could kill him and yada yada yada. And at the end of his fight, he's like slumped on a tree, and you're like, okay, Choji didn't make it, but Choji made it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to remember. Was Shino a part of that rescue?
No. Which we talked about. Like Shino should have been the one that was there because Shino can actually.
They should have sent adults. So they should have sent adult ninjas, not the children ninjas.
That's
to go
true.
After.
Well,
it was a covert mission. They weren't going to go save Sasuke.
Yeah.
So that was them deciding to do that on their own.
Correct.
Because Sasuke is abandoning the village, becoming a rogue ninja. He's choosing to do that. I mean, if anything, if the village would have sent someone, they probably would have sent the Anbu Black Ops, and they probably would have killed Sasuke.
I don't think they would have killed him. They probably would have brought him back and like take him to the Hokage. Because at that point, Sasuke was 11. They're not gonna kill an 11-year-old who doesn't really know much.
Why not?
Because he doesn't know much. He hasn't done anything to the village. He wants to run away. And as a kid, they're not gonna kill him. He's just in his emo phase. Now, if Danzo's Black Ops went, yeah, they was gonna kill Sasuke and take his eyes. But if Hiruzen's Black Anbu went, they would have just brought Sasuke back. They'd been like, "Come on, kid, get it the fuck together." But then also like, we also get Drunken Fist Lee in this arc.
And that Kimaru fight.
Yes,
both Kimaru fights.
Like versus Gaara. We get the return of Gaara now as a good guy. You get the Drunken Fist, all of that shit, and it was like, oh yeah, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah. Honestly, and they honestly would have lost if he didn't die. If his heart didn't just give out, they would have lost.
They would have died. Yep, because he was going to stab Gaara right through the face.
Oh man.
Now, Shippuden. Favorite arc in Shippuden.
Rescue Ninja Sasuke. War. Just kidding.
Ninja War.
Shut up, Matt.
Yeah. Nah, I already talked about that before. No, pain. It's a pain. Pain's always the answer for me. Just pain and like seeing Jiraiya get knocked by pain going into the Rain Village.
That was a hard.
That one
to watch.
Yeah.
And afterwards, when Naruto got that little hand on his shoulder while he's running through the forest, it's like, oh, the feels. But yeah, definitely Ninja War for me because I love seeing everyone get bodied by Madara. Like that's just top tier. And he was just throwing hands. It was just a good like combat fight. But also, I love Madara as a villain, and he's OP. And he went up against the 5 Kages and was like, hey, I'm going to use Perfect Susanoo, and I'm not going to use it. like,
just a meteor part when he first introduced him to.
After wiping people. Forget about the second one.
Yeah, it was like, cool. You guys handled the first one pretty well, but what about that second one?
Good job, Onuki. You stopped the first one. What are you going to do about the second one? Yeah, Madara had some top-notch lines in the man when he came back.
Yeah,
He had some top line. Okay, now you guys were gonna try to fight me 5v1, so now I'm gonna make clones and make you guys fight the clones 5v1. Now, here's my question for you: would you like my clones to use Sasuke or no? Excuse me, sir.
And really, the only one that could fight him was Guy, and we got to see 8 Gates Guy. That was
he should have been knocked too. If Nenji got killed, Guy should have died.
He would have died. Naruto came back with the healing powers and whatnot. Neji's death. Neji's death.
I guess he's crippled for the rest of his life, but at the same time, it's so.
Also, Guy would still body so many ninjas without the use of his legs.
Yeah, because he can do a lot of stuff with his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, he can run on his hands, and that's how he trains so much too. And the power of youth, and it was always so funny because I always thought like he was just boasting and full of bravado when he said that he was Kakashi's rival. I was like, nobody's worried about Guy. Like, really? Come on. And actually seeing Guy fight, you're like, solid. Also, him going against Kisame and using that punch that was just friction that made that tiger.
That's like every time he fought Kisame, he forgot he fought Kisame already. It's like, who are you again? It's like we fought like 3 times. Like, no, we haven't. Oh, you're the guy from underwater. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, when he fought Kisame and killed Kisame with the whole B thing, Naruto thing, that was nice. That slight flinch, put a dent in his chest.
Yeah. What about you, Dom?
I think I may have to say pain as well, because that was, like you said, like the sadness of losing Jiraiya, Naruto going to train and learn Sage Mode.
Ass whooping that the Leaf Village got.
Yeah, like watching, the destruction of Konoha, like that was intense, right? Like no one knew the pains came and invaded until they were there. And then all of a sudden, like you just see the main pain in the top of the sky, like this world shall know pain, like having his whole speech and then doing that one almighty push, and you just see the middle of Konoha and you're all expanded out and everything's destroyed. And right there, 90% of the people died just from that one attack. And then and you're thinking this is actually over, right? Because like people are dying. Like there is no like I'm knocking bitches out. Like people are dying. You're watching everyone get killed. You're watching whatever one can take souls from people come in, start snatching souls out of people's bodies. You see the main pain kill Kakashi, or so we thought kill Kakashi, like beat Kakashi up.
Kakashi did die.
Yeah, like
because he went to see his dad.
But I'm saying like what we thought was like with the needle. We thought he killed Kakashi with the needle, but that's when we learned Kakashi did Kyumi to like use the needle to then save Choji. Was it Choji?
I can't.
I think it was Choji. Whichever tuning it was that was there with him that was running away, that they sent the rocket after. He used the Kyumi to take the needle from pain to save whoever that was from delivering a message. Like all of that, like, but then because you see Kakashi's head snap back, so he thought Kakashi died, which I mean he did end up dying. So like everyone was dead, right? We see everyone in the afterlife talking to whoever the person in the afterlife was, and you're like, oh shit, like even when Naruto came back, you're like, okay, cool, Naruto was back and whatnot, but like.
We're already in deep shit.
You've got like 6 people left alive, bro. You've got Sakura, which why is she still here? You've got Hinata. You've got Tsunade, who you just barely saved. Who else is alive? But then like you got the great fights of like seeing how cool Naruto really got. There is no more like still kind of shadow clones, but you got to really see. You don't need we didn't need Nine Tails Naruto for the majority of this mode. We got to see Sage Mode and what that truly meant and how dope it was. And
a perfect Sage Mode, something that Jiraiya couldn't even do.
Yep. Like better than Minato's, better than Jiraiya's. And then you see like all of that go down. And then of course like Hinata does get almost killed from what Naruto thought killed, and watching Naruto snap and become like the 8 tails or however many tails he grew at that point, almost became the feel cute because he started he I think he immediately busted out of that thing with 4. Like he pretty much immediately had the full skull and crossbones when he came out of that, and then of course leveling up more and more and more, releasing more tails as he is trying to kill this main pain because of what happened. All of that was amazing. But then you think again, we all thought everyone's dead though. At the end of this fight, there still is no Konoha.
Mm-hmm.
But then
and then Ex Machina ending. That's the only thing. I hate it. That's the only thing I hate about that arc is really the ending of it. It's oh yeah, I'll restore everything. My bad. Nagato be my bad, dude. You are.
Yeah, because the only reason anyone had to come back to life is because most of the souls were sucked in by that one pain, the soul sucking pain. So.
Yeah, you had to suck it.
I know. I was soul sucking pain. That's. It's
I don't have a better term for it, so call them SS pain.
Okay, are we going to? Is Sakura actually useless?
No, she's not actually useless.
Just
she's a very
Sasori
good medical
fight.
ninja, and so Naruto, the series Naruto Sakura, yes, she is useless.
Yeah, we can agree on that.
I cut my hair to get out of this fight and became a strong woman.
But Shippuden Sakura was very useful. Her super strength is undeniable. She can fight. Granted, she didn't really do much in that, the 3. Also, she barely used her slugs ever. Waste of potential right there.
When did she actually get them though? Because she trained under Tsunade during the skip, just like Naruto did with Jiraiya and all that shit. But at what point
Sasuke
did
with
she
Orochimaru.
Right? At what point did she get the seal with the slugs?
It must have been during that time skip then.
Right, I don't know if she had them yet. I can't remember. I don't think she had them yet. Right when we got to Shippuden, she didn't have them yet.
I thought she did. I don't really see any reason why she wouldn't, and we haven't really been told otherwise because she's been with Naruto for most of Shippuden, and there's not really been a training montage for her where she's I had to go and get stronger. Yeah, we got the internet at our fingertips.
Make a montage.
But
no, she's useful because of that first when she was fighting Sasori with the old lady, the other puppet master. If she wasn't there, they would have lost. They wouldn't rescue Gaara. They wouldn't.
Yeah, so
that's about it.
Saying that she's not useful. Oh, good.
Oh, I was no, because she was helping, even during the pain arc and everything. She was helping people at least she tended to any of the injured at least as she could, keeping people alive at least until the Ex Machina ending. But and then even during the war, she, if she wasn't there, a bunch of ninja, even more ninja would die. But when she said, "Oh, I've caught up to the 2 of them," that's when she became "Oh, you were good. Now you're back down here. Don't say nonsense like that." It's I've caught up to the 2. It's no, you haven't gotten full power ups like both of these guys have.
Yeah, no, you're nowhere near them.
So I'll read, and I see she doesn't summon her until the climax of the 4th Shinobi War.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I agree though. The trope is funny. Don't get me wrong. The trope is hilarious, but yeah, in Shippuden, Sakura is actually useful and does have her true strengths about her. Now, the whole she was needed to beat Kaguya thing. I hate that they did that because no. We saw that punches do nothing. To Kaguya throughout that entire thing. So her one little punch her on the head to stop her from teleporting up. I get it, but all that truly did
she was
give,
useful, but not necessary.
exactly all that did was give Team 7 its like final hurrah of, like, it took a Team 7 to bring down Kaguya, and that includes Sakura. But it's like, no, because she only got sealed because of the seals on Naruto and Sasuke's palms. Like, Sakura, I'm not giving Sakura no credit there. Now, when they had to fight through all of like those different like beasts that were summoned, and they each summoned the snail, the frog, the slug, like all that shit. That everything they did there, top notch, amazing. I love it. And I think that was when Sakura finally was like, I'm finally on the same level as y'all, or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that when she finally said that?
I think so. Like all the like the snake, the frog, and the toad, and the
she was essentially saying, like, don't leave me out.
I finally caught up to you guys, and I was like,
nah, with summoning jutsu, you maybe, but that's about.
It's like, congrats, we did this 4 years ago.
You ain't wrong.
Even though she did have the best mastery of chakra control first, but other than that, because you could walk up the tree and walk on water before they could, but other than that.
Oh man. But her obsession with Naruto, her continued obsession with Sasuke, kind of, those things, right? Because again, they could have took Sasuke out when he lost his vision. Sakura had one move, one thing she needed to do, and bitch couldn't do it because it was Sasuke. She was right there, could have stabbed him, had a poison lace kunai, could have ended it right there. Chose not to, got caught by Sasuke, and Naruto had to save her, and then Naruto got poisoned because of the kunai. That's like, come on, bitch! Like, what are you doing?
Send it.
Why were you even here? And then, of course, no, let's not forget the biggest thing Sakura did that I think made everyone hate her. When she told Naruto she loved him, and no longer go after Sasuke. That shit right there, I wish somebody would have punched a hole through her chest.
Hit him with the Aokiji.
Man.
About to give you a good old hit. About to introduce you to give you the Rengoku treatment.
And I would at the moment when reading it, I hate, or watching it, I don't like that part. But I'm kind of watching. Jackson, my roommate, and I, we on the show that we watch in the background while working is One Tree Hill, and talking about teen drama and everything like that, and like Naruto and Sasuke just going back and forth, Naruto and Sasuke. I'm like, I get it now. It's teen love, but
she didn't love him.
I know she was in emotions, Dom. She was in emotions. She didn't know what she was doing.
She knew that she could manipulate. She wanted to try to manipulate Naruto to no longer doing what he was about to do. And the only way to do that was to be like, I love you, because she knew how Naruto felt about her. I love you. Come back. And Naruto was like, bitch, this ain't funny. This ain't no game.
Don't mess with my heart with this right now.
And everyone knew, like, we all knew she was not sincere. She did not mean it. She was just trying to manipulate Naruto. And I was so mad when that happened. I was like, nah, not to Naruto. Not in the situation he was in, all the emotions he had. Nah, fuck off.
Yeah.
Damn. And now I think about it, she also got worked when the Cloud Village came to beat up Naruto.
Oh yeah, that was a good fight. That sigh.
Yeah, she also got worked then.
Yeah.
All right, fuck it. I'm back to it. She's useless. I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. Yeah. We made so many good arguments for you, fool, but then again, she's right in between.
Yeah. Any other like big topics? I guess we can ask like quick favorites. Favorite character in Naruto?
Gaara.
Favorite character.
Or it can be characters. You can have like top 3, whatever. Yeah. If you can't, like, if you really can't order it, people, which like, hey, I like these people. I know you like Kisame. Yeah.
Kisame, Darui.
You became so much louder, Twan, by the way.
Oh, did I?
You're fine.
You're fine. It's just like.
Oh yeah. Kisame, Darui, Neji. Those 3.
Gaara, Shikamaru.
Actually, replace Neji with Madara. Cool.
Gaara, Shikamaru, and I'll throw Pain in there. I'm gonna throw two villains. Yeah.
Pain or Nagato?
Pain. I didn't like Nagato because of what we talked about. Pain, like I guess all the bodies of Pain.
Okay. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Let me go with that instead of just
The
Pain.
coalition of Pain.
Yeah. Because like Nagato, if he once again the X Machina ending, Pain arc would be the best arc in anime, if not that ending.
Matt was like,
I love
if
murder.
it was the entire
if the whole village died
and you no longer had the village of Konoha and everyone was dead, great arc.
Great arc.
Obviously Itachi, number one. I don't. People can hate me for that. Oh, he committed genocide. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
I forgot how much you love Itachi.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what anyone has to say about Itachi and what he did. I don't care. Itachi.
Sasuke Itachi fight. So I forgot we never even talked about that.
We can. We got time. I mean, yeah. I don't know what you guys are doing, but we talk about that. But yeah, Itachi for sure. Followed by so when you said Darui, and it made me think about him, but there was not enough screen time. I can't give it to him. Killer B, because Killer B is hilarious. How do you whoop someone's ass? Yeah, how do you whoop someone's ass and in the middle of the fight stop to write rhymes, bro?
The disrespect.
And then of course
you respect the artistic process.
Yeah, everything's a drag, but yeah, he's a genius.
He is a genius. And Azuma, when Azuma dies, oh Jesus!
But teaching how to do those blades was pretty cool though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
when
he found out how to use one style because of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty dope. Like that was a good little teaching moment for him because he taught Naruto because of that, right? Like that was like his clue.
Yeah, Naruto was trying to learn his wind nature, and Asuma was pretty much the only one in the village who had chakra. So they're like, yeah, I'll teach you how to use like how I do it. And I just, imagine I think like a wind
one of the
blade or something like that. Yeah, just
that's why he used those little knuckle knives he had because he could just infuse them with chakra and put the chakra. Yeah,
cool.
Sasuke Itachi, Matt, go.
I was like, not Sasuke Itachi. I was like, it was like we can do like the same thing with the fights, like top 3 fights, or I don't want to rank our like best fights. Like, I mean, I think all of us have Rock Lee Gaara on there.
Yeah, that's definitely on there.
But yeah, but I was like Itachi, Sasuke, just because like I don't know, it's just like the Gen. Oh, what
the Genjutsu.
Thank you. Yeah, Genjutsu, like battle, just the mind games, fucking with each other, kind of thing, just a back and forth, and then until an actual stab, and then I mean,
yeah, it was like
Itachi was just sick, levels. And like
it's like 4 or 5 levels of Genjutsu.
Yeah, it's like, and they're just standing there, and that's almost the entire fight, and then they actually fight just for a little bit, and then Itachi just walking up and just a little tap on the forehead, just like he used to do.
Yeah, and Sasuke is just looking terrified. He's like, no, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Let him. You'll be out of your pain.
Bruh.
Oh.
But I'd probably say any fight with Madara is a top tier fight, honestly. But honestly, it's just him fighting everyone when he was first releasing those meteors. Like, it's just, I just love watching that fight. And then,
I gotta say, actually, the final fight, the Sasuke versus Naruto fight.
That's because they unleashed world-shattering jutsus in that fight.
I know, yeah. I just
Honestly,
hate how they forced that fight, though. I mean, we knew it was going to happen, but like Sasuke taking all the tail beasts and be like, "I'll be the new Madara if I need to be." So fight me, fight me, Naruto. It's like that's
I'll be the evil that everyone needs.
They could just save the day, then like, okay, let's finally just duke this out, and one of us will be the next leader of everything.
Yeah.
But instead, Sasuke has to go final villain one more time.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
good.
Now, I was gonna say it's good that kind of happened though, because otherwise, like Sasuke just would have been Danzo, and this shit would have happened all over again in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Sasuke would have been like a dictator Hokage, not looking out for the village. He's like, this is what you need.
That's pretty much what he said. He was like, "I'll be the evil." Like that he was like, I'll bring peace by being the evil that would make everyone want peace. And I was like, what,
like,
bitch?
You know how we all teamed up together? Yeah, I'm gonna fight them again. That's but then just releasing all their attacks on each other. Man, just chef kiss.
I'd probably say Kisame Guy. That was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
Actually, even was it a Kakashi Toby fight? Or I guess Obito.
Yeah, that was some of the ones I was gonna say. Kakashi versus Abuto was a fantastic fight, especially like animated because it kept flashing back between kid Kakashi and Abuto versus their adult forms. It was just kind of the same moves, same things. Like it was just beautifully done and just like really brought out more again about the emotion. Now the one thing that didn't make any goddamn sense to me was when Kakashi stabbed Abuto through the heart. And he was like, "You can't kill me because I have no heart." And I was like, "How are you here then? Because he's not a reanimation. So then how are you here?"
Hashirama cells.
But he has no heart. I was like, "Nah."
It's like he had a heart transplant. It's like, no,
yeah. That part to me, I was like, "Hold on."
He's halfway dead too.
And then of course we vaguely mentioned it, but Sasuke versus B. Watching Sasuke get folded over and over and over again was just top notch, and I love the it's not gifts, but like the dub overs, the voiceovers that people make for that video. It's they're all the voiceovers that are out there in existence are so funny to me because it's like the one that makes me laugh is always at the end where well, first off, because it's like the Cloud Village is the first like black people we see in Naruto, and so when Sasuke's stepping up to be, B's like, "You never fought no black ninja before," and like I started laughing about that, and he was like, "We out here, we real," and as B's kicking his ass, and then it goes to the end where Sasuke thought he was like, "I'm recovered, I'm ready to do this," and then it cuts out a bit of it, but then it goes into I said his name, Jugo, telling Sasuke, like, watch out, Sasuke, he come with the lariat. And Sasuke's like, what's a lariat? And then it's just him and then it's just B hitting Sasuke with the lariat again. And I was just dying. I mean, the voiceovers are so great, and it just makes me happy because Sasuke sucks and Sasuke's a bitch. And so watching Sasuke get folded over and over and over again is fantastic. Also, people talk about how people don't win fights. Sasuke never really won a fight outside of the Danzo fight, even though Danzo blew himself up. Fuck that, him beating Deidara. That was all plot armor. He lost to Deidara. I don't care what anybody says. And people try to talk about, well, Lee hasn't beaten anybody either. Lee beat Sasuke. Oh, they were kids. Yeah, they were the same age, and he lost that fight. And he never wanted to smoke again, so he never challenged Lee again. That's all I'm saying about that. I'm done.
And Sasuke
really didn't win. He really did not win that many fights.
He went up against a lot of people, but he just didn't win fights. His arrogance was his downfall. Like if Sasuke was just half as arrogant as he was, he would have been a better character. He honestly would. But he just his vengeance was so annoying at times because like, yo, you're gonna have to get over it at some point. Like, because even after Itachi's gone, what are you gonna do? Your whole life has just been this vengeance. So what are you gonna do next?
Matt, you were about to say something too?
No, I'm just like looking up actually how many fights actually Sasuke won, because like even like when the Team 7 went out, actually when Orochimaru first got into the scene, like when he was introduced, like that was Team 7 versus Orochimaru. They got their ass whooped.
Well, I think it's interesting.
That was super creepy too. Like Orochimaru just like snuck in there, just like goes behind Sasuke. It's like, I want you. It's like that's
when you talking about like tuning exam Orochimaru. Yeah, that was very creepy. But when one thing people talked about was like when Sasuke wanted more power, he could have just taken Orochimaru out because Orochimaru still didn't have his arms. And Sasuke could have just done, finished it there, but he didn't. It's kind of crazy. He eventually did though with the white snake jutsu thing that that Orochimaru did. Like, all of that whole like end of Sasuke escaping from Orochimaru was kind of strange. Like now that you think like that, I'm thinking back on how all that went down. But yeah. Yeah, Sasuke beat Deidara, technically.
Danzo.
He beat Danzo. He beat Naruto.
He beat
when they were kids. The fourth Raikage.
Yeah, he said fourth Raikage is
he beat the fourth.
That's what it says. I was like,
nah. The fourth Liger bombed him, broke Sasuno, and he was about to do it again until he was separated. Nah. Until Gar stopped. If Gar didn't stop that, the fourth Raikage was punching through Sasuke's chest. Because he showed with his first Liger bomb that he could break through Sasuno. He was going to cave Sasuke's chest in.
Well, what was it? The tiramisu.
Yeah, the Raikage didn't give a shit about that. The moment that he
eat away his body.
Yeah, and guess what he did? Chopped his arm off and kept it pushing. That didn't stop him. He cut his arm off and then he kept going to fight. He ain't care.
Says he beat Orochimaru. I mean,
he never really fought Orochimaru. Like
their fight. I mean, their fight was so strange because it really was just like Orochimaru trying to absorb Sasuke and using the Great White Sage Snake to do it, and then Sasuke breaking out and then somehow beating Orochimaru and absorbing Orochimaru instead. Like, it was very weird, but technically he did. If you can call it a fight.
It's like I forgot about Sasuke sneaking in and talking to the Ninetales when they first met again.
That was cool.
That was it was like it's like Sasuke's back, baby. Let's go. That's like smug as ever. Let me just enter your mind whenever I want to.
When you think of smug characters, always think of Sasuke.
No, I always think of Escanor.
Yeah.
Escanor
he's just way too late. Though.
Is it smug or is it just confidence?
It's pride. It's pride.
The lying sin of pride.
Oh, you are such a. Why should I concern you when you're just such a shrimp? Oh. Man. Should I think of any other fights or anything else?
Nah, it's a lot to talk about.
It's technically two different shows. It's Shoot Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, so like it's a lot to go through. So
it's one manga, but it's a long series because honestly, it's getting. I mean, with Boruto, it's getting to the point where it's almost as long as One Piece.
Boruto is a different thing to One.
Yeah,
it is because it's not worth my time right now.
It's
not terrible, but
it's not as bad as people. I mean, it's slow. It's hard to get started, I would say.
Honestly, for the potential that Boruto has, like he's a better ninja than Naruto was at that age. He's still. Why is Naruto still coming to save the day every time? Like, if you're gonna make the show about Boruto, make it about Boruto, but don't have the ex machina of Naruto always coming to save the day.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of. I'm not sure how far you guys are in Boruto, but they've cut that part out right now. They stopped that.
But how long did that take?
Are you talking about because of the Kurama loss and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I wasn't sure if you guys knew about that or not.
Yeah.
Kurama lost, and then Sasuke
getting
the Rinnegan is gone too.
Now, how are you such a bitch?
Yeah, the Boruto just comes up and just stabs him in the eyes. Like, how are you not so
bitch you let this happen?
That one I don't like. The Kurama one I understand. That was a sad ending.
It was a bit of an asshole to have this final Biju Baryon mode happen for the Kurama loss or whatever.
He said because he was like Naruto, Kurama told Naruto, it's like, oh, if you do this, you will die. And he's like, well, I need to save my son and all the kids and Sasuke. So yes, I'll do it. He's like, well, of cool, like let's do this together. And then it was like, well, I kind of lied to you. It wasn't you that was going to die. It was going to be me. I was like,
also, if I'm not mistaken, early on in Naruto, they talked about if a tailed beast dies, it's just reborn.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, bye Kurama. I'll see you again in like 5-10 years, however long it takes you to come back. Like you're not gone forever.
Yeah, but
where did they get reborn to? Like that light tree of life or whatever.
I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember them talking about like the tailed beast being reborn.
Yeah, like phoenixes.
I'm gonna say the Three Tails was just roaming around that lake. It didn't have a Jinchuriki when they found it, did it? Because it was just that big turtle.
It did not have a Jinchuriki.
It was just hanging out in that lake.
Right? Because the third Mizukage was one who had
was the last Jinchuriki for it.
That and that wasn't the third Mizukage at that point, right?
No, they're just hanging out in that lake. I don't even know how they got. I can't remember how they got there, but I just remember that it was just Three Tails hanging out in that lake, just big ass turtle.
Toby folded that thing quick.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, guys. So I mean, again, like I said, we could talk Naruto forever. There's so much to it, from the characters to the fights to the sad things like Azuma's death. Very, very sad. Fantastic redemption for Shikamaru, and Shikamaru truly coming to terms with himself. Shikadai is Shikadai the son.
Yeah.
What's Shikamaru's dad's name? Well, it's okay. Shikamaru's dad, like, truly being one of the greatest fathers in Naruto. Like, just, I loved everything about that, and how, like, he truly helped his son cope. And it's just like, it's okay to Shikaku, like, go out there. It's okay to cry. Like, let your emotions out. I'll pick up, like, he smacked away the board game. He was like, I'll pick up the pieces. Like, do what you need to do. Like, great, just like letting his son actually have emotions and like telling him like express your like all of that was fantastic. Shikamaru getting his revenge, love it. Jiraiya's death, Naruto's pain, like, and those things happen like around the same time, which was also really tough.
That's what I wanted to talk about, like Kakashi's dad, like when he goes into in the pain arc, and he's like, they never answer that. They never talk about him ever since after.
Nope.
Like
White Wolf.
He's the biggest mystery still to Naruto series. Is he a hero or is he a villain? Because like he's the one that sacrificed himself to save a bunch of other people, but he ruined the mission.
Yeah. And then he got ostracized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so many things. So maybe we'll have more conversation at another point, but I think this is like a good point for us, guys. It's been fantastic. As Matt said earlier, guys, be sure to follow us on our social medias. We're on Instagram as The Anime Feast, on Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, obviously, as Anime Feast. If you're here, again, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you are notified the next time we go live, which should be maybe 3 Sundays from now. I think 2 Sundays from now I'm out of town. So unless you guys are going live, I mean, feel free to do whatever. I think I'll be out for the next one. But yeah, guys, outside of that, we love you guys. We thank you guys for coming in. And until next time.
Stay hungry, my friends.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.